Hello and welcome to this special edition of a fall sports preview of the Difference Podcast Show. We're here in the press box of Southern Columbia's Tiger Stadium on Labor Day. It's about 95 degrees in this press box. We're here to bring you up to speed on what is to occur in Southern Columbia's fall sports other than football. First with me, I have two seniors, the captains of the cross-country team this year, Ethan and Emily. All right, we're going to start with Ethan. Obviously, Mr. Knoebel, as a senior leader coming off an outstanding year last year as a district champion, how do you take that success and turn it into more positives this year, not just for yourself, but also being a leader for the rest of your teammates, a younger team?
Oh boy, is this going to be cut out? Or am I going to be able to
No, you're good.
Okay,
This is straight. We just...
All right, sounds good. Well, coming off last season, I was satisfied, but I'm still hungry. I'm still looking for more. Like you had said, I was district champion, and that's something on my mind that I'd like to repeat. But my performance down in Hershey wasn't what I would have liked. So that's the main goal personally.
Yeah.
This year is to go down to Hershey and ultimately come back with something. I've been down there for the past 3 years, hoping to make it down for 4 years in a row here, but I haven't ever come back with anything down at that race. So I'd like to be a medalist. I'd like to be able to say that I was a cross-country state medalist.
Absolutely. And obviously, people know that the goal of cross-country is to finish first. That's only one person that happens to. How crucial is it for taking you out of the equation, your other teammates, whether it be Reese, Housknick, Brady, because sometimes it comes down to, did he finish 9th or 10th just in point standing? As far as people might not know, cross-country more of an individual sport, but from the team's perspective, how's Coach Connor, Deal, and Dell talk to you guys about that stuff, just finishing it out?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of known as an individual sport, but really it can be classified as a pretty big team sport as well. We all work together, and everybody's job is important on the team. So the top 7, which is varsity, which is what is scored, actually the only top 5 are the scorers on the team. But it's important that we're all pushing each other, because that means that maybe the 6th, the 7th, the 8th guy ends up beating someone's other 5th guy on the team.
Right.
And that's where real championships, like district titles, state titles in cross country, are really won. It's when those guys toward the end of the pack end up having a good race. So it's really big that we do collectively as a team work together. And that's a message that Laney, Del Jonathan, and Deal, they all put that forth, that we have to work as a team by doing well individually.
Okay. Yeah. And that's something a lot of people don't realize, because they're used to seeing just maybe checking the top 10 or something. But like you said, sometimes it could be something in the 20s, 30s, 40s
exactly.
that wins you the team race.
Exactly.
So going off that, Emily, freshman on the 2015 District 4 championship team. You guys did lose some girls from that, but you do have a strong nucleus coming back. What are your expectations for this year?
My expectations for this year are to go out and we're going to work our hardest. We're focusing really at practice, running in a pact, getting as much numbers to the front of the race as we possibly can to score the most amount of points, getting our fitness back, getting back to where we once were. It's harder over time for girls.
Right, yes, and that's one thing that people don't realize. Yeah,
in cross country, you know, you change and everything. Coming straight out of middle school, we were running 550 miles in this different, high-pace races, and just working back to that and getting our team strength back this year.
And as far as your team, it is mostly seniors, correct, in terms of people that are going to be, who would be projected scorers?
Yes. Cassie Sharrow is showing a lot of promise this year. She came out, practice, is doing really well. Emma Steely, Allie Wilhouse, obviously Haley Scoppoletti leads the pack of our girls. Myself as a senior, we have Kelsey Weary, who can show potential in the top 7. But the senior girls are looking very strong.
Okay. One last thing, and then you guys are going to come back on later on.
Okay.
Just letting people know, as far as being a senior, final message as to because as Emily just brought up, how freshmen, I mean, it starts, you're making an impact early on for the younger kids out there, just what they need to do, because obviously, I say cross country and track are two very unique sports in the sense that other sports run for punishment. So obviously a lot of people don't like to run.
Sports punishment.
Right. So how do you get younger kids to mentally have that aspiration to want to be a cross country runner at a high quality pace?
I mean, I think it starts from seeing success. I think it's kind of one of those mindsets where, well, you want to be on a winning team.
Right.
And that's something that we're hoping to maybe finish our senior years. If we both have successful teams, maybe that's going to, more and more younger kids are going to, oh, wow.
Right.
I want to be on that team. Look at, they just ran out of states. So I think that's one thing. I think another thing is, I mean, cross country is a fun sport. Sure, we're known for having fun.
Yeah.
When it comes time to be serious,
You know when to be serious.
We are, but it's fun. We're kind of like a big family, and I think that's something that a lot of kids do it for that reason, because we're not necessarily so strict, and it's not like a giant rule book. There's not all those things. It's kind of easy as you go. You all have your own different, because I mean, basically you're the one racing. It's not like you're depending on team-wise, sure, but individually, you're the one out there deciding your own destiny running. So it's a very more lax sport, and I think for that reason, a lot of kids like to come out for it.
Anything you have to say with that, Emily?
I feel like we get kids that are, maybe they don't fit in with another sport, or they've tried other sports and it just really wasn't their thing. They want to try something new. So they come to cross country. I think we have a very diverse team, and one of the things I think we can both say is that we form friendships with the younger kids, and we form like a close bond, like a brother-sister type of thing with them, and encourage them, you can do this. It's a mental sport just as much as it's a physical sport. You got to be able to get through that race and tell yourself, I'm going to be okay, I can do this, as well as telling your teammates that they can do it. So just forming a universal bond. We see each other in the worst possible form so we cross the finish line and we look like dying. So
I'm you right now.
Yeah. I was going to say, Ethan looks like he just ran across country race.
It's audible.
Yeah. So it's all about, I think, who has water at the end of the finish line, and we just all form like a close family bond through our coaches as well. And so that's
Okay. So you heard it first from Ethan Knoebel and Emily Davis. Thank you. We'll get back to them towards the end of our show. Next up, where's the boys soccer players? Come on up. You can mess up. This is as live as we get. No edits. So, waiting for the boys soccer players to come up here.
This is some stupid shit.
Mr. Adamski has on his jersey. Mr. Shadle
Not bad, I'll work on it.
is going to work on it. Now remember, this is live, no edits. So, okay, he's going to wait a second here. Again, it's hard to believe that we're already into the 2018-2019 school year. It still feels like summer, especially up here. But, okay, now we're back. Two senior soccer players here, Michael Adamski and Mr. Parker Shadle. Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you for having us.
All right, congratulations, first of all, on your win on Saturday against Milton, a 2-1 overtime win. But getting into that, want to take 2 years ago, you guys finished 3-15. Then last year you started 0-5. But the way you guys finished last year, you finished out the regular season 9-4, having to win most of those games just to get into playoffs. Now you lost to a very good Wellsboro team in the playoffs. But starting with you, Michael, what kind of positives can you take off of the way you guys finished last year into using that as some momentum coming into this season?
Well, beginning of the season, we didn't really know each other. We had not that well of chemistry. But as the season started going, we began to understand each other, what we do, how we play, and once we started rocking, it was good. We had the chemistry down, passes down, touches were good, and that just helped us get those dubs.
And Parker, kind of going off of that, as a senior, being in a position where a couple years ago times were more rough, dealing with that adversity, how can you guys as leaders kind of pass that down to the younger kids so they know how hard they have to work?
Well, we've kind of been through it, so
Yeah.
like us knowing that, we can show them how to like avoid it, and when it does happen, we can show them how to get through it and overcome those difficult times.
Right, right. And I mean, unless you're in the situation, you don't know. So if they're ever in that situation, obviously you guys hope they aren't when you graduate, they at least have spoken to guys that have been through it and then got over the hump and had successful runs after that.
Yeah.
Off of that, Mike, talk a little bit about, obviously you have a nice nucleus coming back, but what are the key holes that you have to fill with the losses of some very good players like the likes of Elijah and others that graduated?
Yeah, Elijah was a key role in our offense, but we have a junior, Aiden Strathen. He's a great player, young talent. He fills in Elijah's role perfect. He's a great player, isn't selfish at all, passes the ball, great shot.
Yeah.
And then we also lost Joe Evans. He was a defender. He was our sweeper. But Josh Swenson, he's a sophomore this year, and he fills the role perfectly. He has that aggressive play style and is able to go after that ball.
And Parker, also with that incoming players, but also two new incoming coaches, and Coach Roberts and Coach Anskis, obviously being younger guys, they both were on teams that actually won the last league championship at Southern. How nice is that to have? Obviously, Coach Hall is a great guy and very fun to be around, but to get that youth involved of guys that didn't graduate too long ago and knowing how successful they've been, how's that been with the transition with having both those guys?
Well, it's been really helpful. They've been able to show us a lot of stuff that we might have not been able to, and we've been able to cover more stuff as a team with more help. And with them like being on great teams when they played, they can help carry along some of the stuff that they learned to us, which will hopefully help us make a run this year. Okay,
Michael, with us being up here in the press box at Tiger Stadium, obviously there's turf on the field. Now I know a lot of schools are getting turf now, but how much of a difference is it having to transition from a turf field to a grass field? And I mean, obviously some grass fields, we're not in professional soccer here, so you get what you get at certain schools. Is it a huge difference playing on turf versus grass, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, there's a difference. Once you play on turf for a while and you go back to grass, it's kind of hard to make that transition, but it's all a head thing. If you focus on your touches, on your passes, it's like you're playing on turf.
Okay. And last question for you, Parker. As far as strengths of this team, what do you guys think you need to improve on the most? Obviously, strengths are the positives, but in order to get to where you want to be, your weaknesses, and when I say weaknesses, it might not be anything from a skill perspective, it might just be from an inexperience perspective. What do you think you guys have to work on from here on out? Obviously, you did a lot of work in the off season, and there's not as much time now with the game schedule being so compact as it is. What do you guys think that you have to work on the most going into the rest of the season?
Well, I think we're gonna have to really work on like passing and keeping possession if we're gonna really take on some of the better teams.
Yes.
And it's really about a lot of our younger guys stepping up and like people stepping up and scoring more goals with the loss of our leading scorer in Elijah.
Yeah.
So it's really about people stepping up and just being able to play at our pace and getting the shots we want.
Okay, Mike Adamski, Parker Shadle, thank you very much. Don't go well, you're going to have to move, but stay here till the end. You're going to be both coming back on the show. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, field hockey. Where's the stick hitters? Bringing on two senior field hockey players. Jaden Brzezinski here to my right, and the Hanimal here. Hannah Davis to my left. Thank you both for coming on. Start with Jaden. Last year, you guys went through stretches where you seemed like you were unbeatable at times, and then stretches where things just weren't going your way. How do you, as a contributor, starter, whether you're a senior through a freshman, how do you mentally stay focused and not get too high when you guys are doing good or too low when you're doing bad?
I think overall when we're in those high moments, we still need to be humble. And, you know, when we go into every game, we have to have the mentality that we just want to get a win, and that's what we came there for. But I think when we're in a low situation, we need to keep our spirits up and know that next game is a whole different story.
And with that, Hannah, as you guys are seniors, from a leadership perspective, how important is it to get the younger girls equipped to the varsity game early on, especially playing on turf, which is a much faster field?
Yeah, it's really important, especially for the freshmen who just moved up from junior high. Obviously, there's a huge difference between varsity level and junior high level, so they all have to get used to that. And we are lucky to have a turf field, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can tell a difference with the speed of the ball on a turf field versus grass.
Yeah, it definitely is to our advantage that we have that and makes us play faster, harder, more skilled.
Okay, going off of that, Jaden, so the last 2 years you guys made district championship. Now it's kind of a weird thing going on with field hockey in terms of you guys are considered a bigger school, even though we're more of a Class 2A school, but you guys have to count VOTEX enrollment. But there's only ever been 3 teams in districts. It's been basically you and Shikellamy battling it out. You guys had the upper hand the last 2 years to get to a district championship. Now there's a 4th team, correct?
Yes.
Juniata or East Juniata?
Yes.
It's either East Juniata or it's Midwest.
Okay, or Midwest. Okay, so there's a 4th team now. So that, I'd assume, will make Selinsgrove have to play a playoff game before the district championship. Now, 2 years ago, you guys played them tough early on, ultimately fell 7-0. Last year, you fell 3-0. You guys take it game by game, or obviously with getting that district silver the last 2 years against a team like Selinsgrove that's been really at the top of the district level for the last 20 years. Now their coach retired this year. So do you guys look ahead at all to that, or is it just taking a game by game approach?
I definitely think we take it game by game because there's really no guarantee now that we're gonna go to the district final. And obviously this year we're in a tougher schedule, so we are going to get to play Selinsgrove in our regular season, and we're going to play tougher teams like Mifflinburg, Lewisburg.
Now is Bloomsburg and Line Mountain still on the schedule?
Line Mountain we get to scrimmage.
You're right,
Bloomsburg we don't get to play anymore, but we do get to play teams like Central and Benton that are in the area. But going back to what you said, we take it game by game, and I think that's what's really important to us, to get 500, get a good winning record for our regular season, and then look ahead to playoffs.
And off of that, Hannah, obviously, to win a game, defense has to be good, but you guys ultimately have to find the back of the net. With guys like, or girls like you, Megan, up front, how do you guys use your speed to your advantage to keep it fast-paced? And are you guys trying to be more offensive this year or more defensive?
Well, obviously we want to score goals, but also it's very important to focus on our defense as well. And we have a great goalie, Vanessa Damgard. She's done a great job throughout her field hockey career, so we're lucky to have her, but we want to keep the pace up too and just hopefully keep it in our end of the field most of the time with scoring goals and stuff like that.
Now, Jaden, obviously, it's been 2 years ago, but I know you guys didn't forget, obviously, horrible incident, losing your coach, Coach Ellen Sosnowski, in a fire. But what can you guys still, because a lot of you guys, especially the seniors and juniors, have been around her for her time that was at Southern. It wasn't overly long, 4 or 5 years, whatever she was here for. But how can you guys still use her as kind of a motivational figure and also what she's taught you?
Obviously, losing a coach during your high school career or college career, whatever, is really uncommon, and it's very tragic. But going back to when it happened, I think when we were playing for her, that's one of our goals, especially the people that had her. and I know it's really important for the seniors because we were her we were part of her first group of girls in our junior high season. But I think too, something that her and Misty have preached, that, you know, we do play for Ellen, but we do play for ourselves, and I think that's something like we have to have it inside us to do it, and I think ultimately for us to be able to do it, then it's for her.
And piggybacking off of that, obviously it's nice to have other coaches that's, man, is it hot in here, that have stayed around, like Coach Misty, who was Coach Ellen's assistant, who's overtaken the head coaching roles. But on top of that, you guys have had pretty much world athletes come in.
Yeah.
All Americans, basically. What have you gotten out of seeing them play and show you some different things that they've done to get to the ultimate peak of the game?
They have great skills to teach us, great strategies even, and I think it's been really helpful. In our preseason this year, we had 2 ladies from England actually and 1 from Scotland that came as part of our preseason. And they coached us through that, and it was definitely helpful. We learned lots of new things, and I think we'll carry on what they taught us into the season.
Okay, Jaden, Hannah, best of luck this season. Don't go too far away. You're going to be coming on here after this next segment again, so thank you very much. Now we're on to girls soccer. This one's a trio. I don't know if one of you wants to stand or... All right, we can fit you all in. Get in here, Jill. All right, I think you can see us, can you? Yeah. All right, all 3 are in the picture now. We'll start with Carrie here, Smiley. Carrie Cambria, Cousins, Morgan Marks, Jill Marks, 3 are the leaders for the last, really, 2 of them are seniors, 1 a junior, but have been leaders of this team in terms of production over the last couple of years. Carrie, first of all, there are some freshmen that are coming up. How promising have some of them been, and are they going to contribute at the varsity level, some of them?
Well, I can say that every single one of them has worked their very hardest at practice, and with hard work, I know any of them could go on the field with us. They want to, and I would love to see them playing with us and sharing the field. I think they have a lot of potential. Some specifically, even through the junior high season, we saw had some success, so I'm excited to see what they can do.
And Morgan, speaking on behalf of, because I know you've played with these seniors your whole career, and it's the last hurrah, obviously it's kind of bittersweet in that way, but what has it meant to play with this group of seniors, really, since you were in elementary school?
This group of seniors have been with me since forever, and it stinks knowing that this is our last season together, but it just gives us more motivation to give everything we have on the field, and every moment spent together we don't take for granted. So.
And Jill, obviously you guys, Southern girls soccer's been very successful over the years. Unfortunately though, the last 3 years you and Carrie were on each of those teams. Last year you guys did win the division championship, but you lost the first round of districts to Warrior Run in a tough 1-0 game up in Williamsport. 2 years ago you lost to East Juniata in a 2-1 game, and your freshman year you guys you won your round of 16 game, but lost again in the quarterfinals to Warrior Run by a 1-0 overtime score. Obviously that's in the past, it is what it is, as heartbreaking as it is. Being a senior, how can you use that as motivation heading into this year?
I mean, it's definitely like a really big motivation. We talk about it at practice all the time, like that feeling after the game last year, and it sucks. So like every practice we work a little bit harder so we don't have to feel that feeling again.
And with that, obviously it's a team approach, Carrie. How important is it for you guys to gel early on? I know you guys do a lot of team bonding activities and are together a lot throughout the summer. How important is staying together when times are rough? Obviously, there's been a lot more positives than negatives in your career, but you guys, obviously we just mentioned coming off without even getting to a district semifinal, when you guys have certainly been capable, but sometimes things just don't go your way. How important is it to make sure to keep everyone together so that there's not any conflicts?
Well, coming into the season,
it was apparent that we didn't all know each other as well as the past seasons when freshmen would come in. So it was really important from the beginning to get to know everyone and make everyone comfortable because, I mean, on the field, off the field, we have to be able to trust each other.
Yeah.
And we have so many goals set for this season that without the teamwork and without the commitment to each other and to the team, it won't be able to be accomplished. So we know how important it is to stick together.
Morgan, obviously you guys have, I just said this with field hockey too, one of your strengths, you guys obviously have an experienced defense and midfield coming back, but with girls like you, Carrie, Maggie, Tori, whoever it is up front, you guys have a lot of speed. How can you utilize that speed to keep defenses on their heels and take advantage of it?
Well, Carrie, Maggie, and I, we form a triangle, as we say, and at practice we've been really working on having combo plays and moving together. And Carrie and I, up top, I think we're pretty dangerous in terms of speed and skill. And then we have Morgan Cole and Tori on the outside mids, and their speed is absolutely insane, and they always make sure that we get back and move together as one.
And off of that, Jill, obviously you guys have a lot returning. You three, Morgan Cole, the list goes on and on and on. Maggie, as we mentioned a little bit here on offense. The defense is returning. Sammy, I'm missing some other people.
Yeah.
But how much of a strength is that to not have to, obviously Carrie talked a little bit about the freshmen coming up, but having that nucleus that knows how to play off of each other.
Yeah, obviously we missed the people from last year, but I have complete trust in all the people that are coming back, and I think leadership wise it's really important because we aren't afraid to communicate on the field and direct the underclassmen, and I think they're learning that from us too, which is really important. So I think that's going to help a lot with the outcome and our goals for the season.
And I'm saying this now, obviously I don't expect you guys to make any predictions, but I've said since last season ended, I've talked to some people, and I honestly think that this team's, you're definitely, in my opinion, the front runner to win a district championship, and I think you guys can make a deep run in states this year. Hopefully get back to that state championship game and another result that the 2013 team had. And it's kind of set up nicely this year because some of those teams that have knocked you out over the past couple of years are moved up. You guys are still single A, so you don't have to worry about the Bloomsburgs or Warrior Runs of the world. Obviously, you still have to take care of business, but what is your ultimate goal this season?
Our ultimate goal is a state championship, and I think what makes us so deadly is that we know we're capable of it. So it's just going to be the hard work and the dedication and the mindset, but we know we can do it. So this could be our year.
We just have to put it all together and keep working hard and never get content. Keep working.
And I want everybody to know they're not guaranteeing I'm the predictor here, so anybody wants to get mad at me. But I know this team's definitely capable of it. I know the last 3 years have been successful, but kind of a bad taste in your mouth to end it. So one last year here to make that all work. So thank you, Carrie, Morgan, Jill. All right, for the last part of this podcast show, we're going to bring everybody back. And obviously this is the world of sports is a team approach no matter what sport you're in. So everybody knows each other here. We're going to do this like we did the first show of our podcast season, ended in a tie between Cal Holiday and Gage Garcia. Last week's Stone Hollenbach really embarrassed Troy Donlin in his win, but now with all these sports on, we're going to have some teams. So I'm going to ask 4 of you on one team, 5 on another. We're going to go, no, we're going to split it up here. Ethan, okay. Jaden, switch. Emily. We're going to do this like this. Wait, Shades. You can... No? All right, he's not moving, folks. Okay, so we have Jill, Morgan, Ethan, and Hannah on the A team.
Oh, we have a good team.
And I can't say the B team. All right, team 1. Team 2 is Jaden, Michael, Emily, Parker, and Carrie. All right, so I'm going to stand here. I'm going to give each of you something. Sorry, I'm blocking people off. So, just like we did the last couple weeks, I'm going to shift gears here and ask a couple different questions. Obviously, since this is a high school show, we're going to ask some questions to see how closely these high schoolers pay attention during the school year. So, I'm going to have to give you guys this. 1 point for each team per question. So, the first question, now you got to be quiet, talking to each other. You can get in your huddle. First question. We're going to go back to, I guess it would be Mr. Williams' geography class. There are 8 countries that start with the letter I. Name them. They are 1 point apiece. Now, you got to be quiet. There's 8 countries.
Wait, let him just write his mind.
Got to be quiet.
I'm not smart.
So again, folks, as we said, the quality of this show is less than ideal. Anybody wants to sponsor this going on out, I'm here to listen. All the money will go towards a better quality of this show. We are filming this in the press box. The iPhone is literally taped to the press box window. It's probably 95 degrees in here. It might be hotter than any practice these guys have had all season. So we're just kind of winging it. Makes it more real life, but obviously I know some of you would rather better quality. So anybody, I've been in contact with a couple of different production teams that are interested in helping us out for the rest of the year. But we need some money to do this. There's 8. Okay, so you're at the 30-second mark. 30 seconds left.
Look at her cheater.
Now we have cheaters. I mean, this is... You didn't do that in school, did you?
She goes...
I know Parker didn't cheat in school. Hannah...
Hannah's a cheater.
Yes, yes.
Hannah got one. She's all excited.
I'm so glad I have a smart team.
We're all happy for Hannah. She just got her...
Wisdom teeth
She got her teeth out. She wasn't brushing her teeth too well, so they had to pull 4 of them.
Wait.
10 seconds.
All right.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to look at the first list. Put this down. There could be... I might have said that wrong. I was going to say give you credit for 8 of them. India. Correct. Indonesia. Correct. Ireland. Correct.
Why are we so stupid?
Italy. Correct. Ivory Coast. Correct. Iceland. Correct. Israel. Correct. Iran. Correct. Iraq. Correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they are up 8-0 right now. This team, Indonesia, Israel, spelled wrong, but we'll give it to them. It's not Israel, it's Israel. Okay. Italy, India, Iran, and I'm guessing that's Iraq. That's not RIA9. Okay, so we'll give you credit for that. You have 6. A little better handwriting would be nice. So we have 6 to 8. Write your 6 here. Right. So the team of, and actually the team with only 4 players right now is up 8-6. So
Quality over quantity.
Next one, and you will have. Who's got a phone here? Can somebody get your phone on? I'm gonna give you 1 minute and 30 seconds to do this next one.
Okay. So what am I doing? Getting a timer?
Yes. Getting a timer.
I thought they were allowed to use their phone. We weren't.
No, they're allowed.
Oh no. Stop, okay. Oh my God.
Don't forget, this is live, so all these people are wasting time right now listening. Okay, you're going to have 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds for those of you that didn't know what 1.5 minutes was. 2, list, and there are 30 of them.
What?
We're staying in geography, okay? We're going to stay in geography. You're going to list, there's up to 30 of them,
Okay.
countries without the letter A in their name. Go. Without the letter A in their name. As if you didn't notice, all the countries with the I's have the letter A in them.
put our first foot down, America.
I don't know why I thought of that, but it is.
The Marks girls don't seem to be too helpful in this geography game. They're leaving it to their other two teammates. That's showing trust.
I'm a B student. You guys.
B. As they say, D's get degrees. Just kidding. That's a terrible attitude to have, you seniors. A's are for awesome.
Are there any in here?
Okay, you're down to 50 seconds. And again, folks, it's like a sauna in this press box. So not only are they working their minds, but they're doing it under this excruciating heat. Thankfully, today's a Monday that's off. You can go back to all home days and get some ice cream or a snow cone. I'm imagining most of you know what the all home days is. Okay, so now we need 15, 10, oh no, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, done.
All right.
Okay, hand him in. Hand him in. Oh, man. Whew. Not very good, folks. 30 of them. The team in the lead got 4. Mexico, Puerto Rico, Peru, and Belgium. So we got 4.
One of you heard me say Peru.
Okay. I expected better, I'll be honest. Okay, other team. Mexico, Belize, Peru, Egypt, Greece, Turkey, Belgium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now, the team of 5 has 13 points, and they have taken the lead by 1 over the team with 4 that has 12 points. Okay.
How much more of this are games? Yeah, we have practice, man.
Yeah, you do. You only have 2 more questions.
All right, thanks.
If you have to leave at any time, you may leave. I don't want to get yelled at. Periodic table we're going to now.
Oh, I'm good at this.
I'm going to give you 6 elements on the periodic table. They're, what do you call it? Their
kidding me?
their number or their letter thing. You have to tell me what it is. Their symbol. Okay, the first one is AS.
Okay, that's what I was
Really? First one is AS.
Yes.
Go ahead, keep going.
Next one is SN. SN. Third one.
Wait, no, is that it?
SN. I don't know. I can't tell you if it's it.
It's not ST. Yeah. Why not in DC?
Third one.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Third one is CO.
Oh.
CO.
I'm not even saying it, just in case I'm wrong.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, yep.
Next one is BA.
Oh, that's...
Turn yourself.
That's not.
BA was that 4th one.
Yes.
5th one, PT. Like physical therapy, PT.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, man.
And the 6th one is HG. HG.
I'm positive that one.
Okay, I'm going to run down them again. AS, SN, CO, BA, PT, HG. Now, I'm going to trust both teams here. You're going to mark them correct or not.
Oh.
First one, AS is arsenic.
Yeah, man.
SN is tin.
It's not
CO is cobalt. BA is barium. PT is platinum. And HG is mercury. Now, God knows how they got HG to be mercury. Makes 0 sense in my mind. So, one team got 6 out of 6, another team 5 out of 6. So they know their chemistry better than their geography, it sounds like. So, got to work on the geography game. So, What do you guys have after 3 rounds? 18. What do you guys have after 3 rounds? 18, folks. You are watching this live. This is not made up. The final one. We're switching over to history. This is the last one. 6 possible points. Okay. Obviously, we know presidency in America has started hundreds of years ago. You are going to tell me, I'm going to give you 2 presidents. You're going to tell me which one served first.
Oh my god.
Okay. You're going to tell me which one served first. James Buchanan or Andrew Johnson?
What do you guys think? Just let him run it.
James Buchanan or Andrew Johnson?
This is close. I want to go.
We're saying which one was first?
Yes, which one served first? Basically, which is the older one, I guess.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Well, I don't care. You don't have to spell it,
Say it
right?
again?
James Buchanan or Andrew
Put
Johnson?
initials.
Yeah, initials are fine. I'll answer it with initials.
Do you think? Do you think?
I thought Andrew Johnson was a race coach.
That is Jimmy Johnson. Andrew Johnson was a president, not a race car driver. Next one, Theodore Roosevelt or Benjamin Cleveland?
Benjamin Cleveland, you mean Grover Cleveland?
No, Benjamin Cleveland.
I know both of them.
Benjamin Cleveland served after Grover.
Dave.
Nobody heard of Benjamin Cleveland?
No. Look at his hair.
Why don't you ask us some
You're
math
really,
questions,
you're
Mr.
really
Algebra?
sweating there.
So, Theodore Roosevelt or Benjamin Cleveland?
I mean, I've heard of it.
Just, we like to
picking the
reiterate,
ones
it
that
is
I
a
know.
sauna.
Third one, this one's easier. Gerald Ford or Jimmy Carter? This is more recent. Gerald Ford or Jimmy Carter?
Wait, we're doing who served first.
Yes.
Would Gerald be a G or a J?
G.
G. So basically, if I, just to make sure everybody's on the right page, we're halfway through this, but if I would have said George Washington or Abraham Lincoln, you would have said GW, because he served first.
Wait, yeah, what are their names
Okay,
again?
Gerald Ford or Jimmy Carter? Okay, next, FDR or JFK? FDR or JFK?
I know that one. Really?
She claims she knows it, but... Okay, fifth one. Couple T last names. Zach Taylor or John Tyler?
I don't know either of these.
These aren't even stop.
Zach Taylor or John Tyler?
You said Jack Taylor the first time.
Zach Taylor or John Tyler? Guy's named Zach Taylor or John Tyler. Okay,
I'm not sure. Sorry, guys.
last one.
Sorry, I know.
Grover Cleveland, not Ben, who we just did before. Grover Cleveland or Abraham Lincoln? Grover or Abe? Okay, so I'm going to give him 5 seconds to finish up, and then we have to finish up because field hockey actually has practice. Again, folks, if you're listening, make sure, obviously, we've covered some football this year already. We're going to do that each week. Friday nights are easy to get out to. Make sure to come out any day but Sunday. I guarantee you one of these teams will be in competition. All 4 teams are looking to have very successful seasons. They're all capable of having it, but they would love the support of the community. So, I'm going to go over the answers right now. Carrie and Morgan are going to check them off. First one, James Buchanan or Andrew Johnson? It was James Buchanan.
Woo!
Next one, Teddy Roosevelt or Benjamin Cleveland? It was Benjamin Cleveland.
Dang it.
Third one, Gerald Ford or Jimmy Carter? Gerald Ford.
Yes. Look at her.
Fourth one, FDR or JFK? Roosevelt was before Kennedy. Zach Taylor or John Tyler? John Tyler was obviously first.
Obviously.
And lastly, Grover Cleveland or Abe Lincoln? It was Honest Abe. So, tally your points up.
What's 18? 23. 22.
So, all right, now in fairness, should we say it's a tie?
Yes.
Since they only have 4 people?
They said.
Okay, so Michael, Emily, Parker, Carrie, and Jaden technically won, but Hannah, Morgan, Ethan, and Jill had one less person. You guys be the deciders. Once again, I'd like to thank all 9 of them for coming on. This has been a fun time, even though it's been really hot.
Come out and support.
Come out and support.
For the record, Southern our soccer team does play Bloom.
Southern soccer team does play Bloom.
Yeah, you said in our thing that we don't play Bloom anymore.
No,
in districts.
Oh.
See if you paid attention.
I don't.
Okay. So anyway, come out and support all them. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks again for tuning in to the Difference Podcast Sports Show. Next guests on for football will be Max Tillett and Preston Zachman. Thank you. Come out and support soccer, field hockey, cross country, all of them. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful 2018-2019 school year.